We are all familiar with the H&R Topper shotguns. These legendary side-lever, single-shot top-brake beauties were built by H&R for the common man from 1943 to 1986. But after over a century in business, H&R fell to modern times and declared bankruptcy in 1986. A number of firms tried to continue the legacy, including New England Firearms, H&R 1871, Marlin, and Remington, but each would fail. The last U.S.-made Topper pattern gun was made in 2015. But just a few years later, the side-lever single-shot top-brake pattern was seen again. This time as the Stevens 301, a clone from the People's Republic of China. Curious as to how it compares to the original Topper? I am. Let's take a look. We're going to compare a brand new Stevens 301 to a 45-year-old Topper side by side. We're going to handle them, take them apart, fire, and test them. Then we can form an opinion on how the clone compares to the original. All firearms are cleared before handling, and we allow no live ammo on the set. Let's get aesthetics out of the way first. Which gun is better looking? Even though they are the same single-barrel side-lever top-brake pattern, they are polar opposites on appearance. Clearly, the 301 has a tactical look with its black polymer stock and black finish. The Topper is dressed old school with wood, blue steel, and a color case-hardened frame. So clearly this is in the eye of the beholder. Tactical folks will love the 301, and us older gents will favor the Topper. But both are good-looking shotguns. Since the 301 is built on the Topper pattern, these guns have a lot in common. If you know the Topper well, you'll be comfortable with the 301. Also, both guns are 20-gauge, compact models with 3-inch chambers. Both have a transfer bar internal safety, a potent shell ejector, bead front sights, and plastic trigger guards. No big surprises there. Now let's start at the muzzle and work our way toward the butt, pointing out the differences along the way. The barrel lengths are 22 inches for the 301 and 25 inches for the Topper. Both have a bead front sight. The 301's bead is slightly larger. Both have modified chokes, but the 301's choke is interchangeable. It's a wind choke style and a wrench is provided. This could be a significant advantage for a one-gun situation like homesteading or survival. A set of wind chokes would add significantly to the cost of the 301. But a cylinder bore for slugs and a full choke to extend effective range would certainly be helpful for a single gun scenario. The forearms are the key to the takedown system. The 301 has a push button at the end of the forearm used to detach the forearm. Once you've removed that, then simply push the release lever to remove the barrel. The 301 can be stored in 3 pieces or 2 pieces if you reattach the forearm. The Topper has a screw on the forearm that can be removed with a screwdriver or penny. Older model Toppers had a snap-off forearm, which was a little different than this. Once the screw is out, you just pop off the forearm. Then press the release button to remove the barrel. The Topper can be stored in 3 pieces or 2 pieces if you reattach the forearm to the barrel. This helps prevent losing the forearm screw. The 301 has a serial number stamped on the barrel as well as the frame. This is to avoid putting the wrong barrel on the wrong frame. The Topper does not have this feature, but switching barrels to different receivers is not recommended for either the Topper or the 301. The frames are nearly identical in shape and function. The color case hardening on the Topper is beautiful and unique. I could find no description of the coating on the 301 frame and barrel. It is simply called black. The Topper's color case hardening has held up for nearly half a century. Do you think the 301's black coating will do the same? Only time will tell. By now, I'm certain you have noticed a safety lever on the left side of the 301's receiver. The H&R toppers never have had an external safety. The topper is a single-action firearm. Most have considered the hammer as the safety. When the hammer's forward, that's safe. When the hammer's back and cocked, that's the not safe or ready-to-fire position. An internal safety, which was a rebounding hammer until 1974, and then a transfer bar safety after that, has always been in place to help prevent the firing pin from being struck by the hammer unless the trigger is pulled. Toppers are considered by most to be safe firearms. Stevens has added an external safety on the 301. I must stress here, please read the 301 owner's manual if you obtain a 301. Here's the recommended operation of the 301 safety, paraphrased from the owner's manual. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm holding the gun so that you can see the hammer, safety, and trigger quite easily. Normally, when you do this, you'd hold the gun in the firing position with the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. We're not using live ammo, only snap caps on the set. To put the 301 in the full safe position, must pull the hammer back about 1/2 inch, then rotate the safety lever upward until the red dot is covered. The hammer will stay in this position. This is the full safe position. To put the firearm in the fire position, you have to draw the hammer back all the way until it clicks and locks. Then rotate the safety down so that the red dot is exposed. Now, when the trigger is pulled, the hammer will hit the firing pin and the weapon will fire. Now, I'm not necessarily opposed to having a safety on the topper pattern, but this one seems might not be the best design. The fact that you have to pull the hammer back to set the safety makes me a little uncomfortable. And the position of the safety is such that it really takes, or at least took me, 2 hands to operate the safety. I think maybe it could have been a better design. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 301 safety system. Moving back to the stocks, we found that the length of pull and drop at the heel was the same for both the stocks. The 301 stock obviously is plastic with a rubber butt plate, which the butt plate was nice. And the topper's stock is solid wood with a hard plastic butt plate. Removing the butt plate off the 301, we found the 2 screws that hold the butt plate in to be kind of flimsy. The butt plate's pretty decent. Then we used a 13mm wrench to pull the stock bolt out. Found the stock on the 301 to be really hollow. There's only a couple of support brackets in there. There's a lot of space in there. Putting a trapdoor on the back would be nice, so you could use that space for storage. We pulled the stock off the topper as well, pulled the 2 screws off the hard plastic butt plate, exposed the hardwood stock, reached in with a 9/16 inch wrench, and pulled the stock bolt out. The stock came off. It's a nice solid hardwood stock. Of course, everybody's curious to know if the stocks are interchangeable, and they're not. If you look at the frame of the topper is concave, and the frame of the 301 is just flat. And you might be able to shape a stock to fit, but no, they're not simply interchangeable. And the stock bolts are also of different diameter and thread. Also, the 301 has the ability to add a sling on already prefabricated into its stock and forearm. That's something the topper lacks. Next thing we did is we took them both to the range. We fired 10 number 3 bucks and 10 7.5 birds out of each, and the groups were almost identical. Both guns functioned very well. There were no failures. The trigger pulls seemed the same. It was almost like shooting the same gun. So in conclusion, I would say if you need the features of the 301, like the push button takedown and the adjustable chokes, you might want to lean with the 301. Otherwise, I'd stick with the topper, just out of respect for the American worker. Let us know in the comments how you feel about the 301 and the topper. Thanks for watching the H&R Topper Shotgun Collectors Project.